This week on Gymwright Live, we're going to be discussing the real reason why your business isn't growing like it could be. But before we get into that, I'd like to give a warm thank you to SiteRight.io as our official sponsor for this show. Guys, they've got a really cool thing going on with their new web platform, and there are some special offers just for you guys here in the network. So if you think your website could use some improving and you want to see what is available to you, go check out what they're doing. There's nothing else like it out there, and they've got something really special for our people here in the network. So head on over to SiteRight.io and check out their deals. So also, if you are one of our many podcast listeners but are not yet in our private Facebook group, The Network, you are missing out. Head on over to Facebook, type The Network by Gymwright into the search bar, and find the group, join us. We've got lots and lots of wonderful gym owners in here who are sharing good strategies and helping each other out and helping each other build a great business. Plus, you get to watch the live version of this show, and we've got our gym growth specialist in there to help and answer questions and whatnot as well. So head on over. I hope you guys can join us for the conversation. So, all right, let's get into this episode and have ourselves a good Friday. All right, hello and welcome to this week's episode of Gymwright Live. I am your host, Markus, Gerszi, and this week we're going to discuss a few of the reasons why your business is not growing as well as it could be. So before I get into this here, guys, there's a lot of excuses I think that we can make up for ourselves, or that are kind of like industry standard excuses, whether it's industry trends or what's happening in the economy. And here's the truth, guys. Although there's always a little bit of truth to those types of things, it's not the real reason why. So I want to get into this here today. This may be a little bit of a sensitive subject for some people, but I've just been having too many calls and conversations with people who are they're just so bought into the excuses they're making for themselves that they're having a really hard time seeing this. And we usually have to have a pretty heart-to-heart conversation about this in order for them to kind of have that aha moment and then be able to dig in and fix the actual issues. So let's talk about the main reason why people think they're stuck. And it almost always, and I'm going to say probably like 8 or 9 times out of 10, it's I need more leads. It's not enough leads. And it's either I need advertising, or I need better advertising, or better conversion rates. And it's all just about more on the front end. Now, that can absolutely help. But in most cases, that's actually not why you're stuck, right? Think of it as an athlete who comes to you who is refusing to work on technique with their Oli lifts. And they keep hitting the same plateau. They can't seem to break through. And they're blaming it on, I need better lifting shoes, I need a better barbell, I need to get better plates here, these wrist straps must be old. That's what it sounds like to me when all I'm seeing is your technique. You're not working on technique. The main thing that's going to get you through is what's missing here. And that's what I want to get into today. So typically it's one of 3 things. It's either clarity, your strategy, or your execution. It's in one of those 3 areas. So let's talk about the clarity thing first. You aren't clear enough on why you do what you do. What the real big problem is that you solve for your ideal clients. Who your ideal clients really are, and what they want, and what matters to them, and what will happen if they don't go with your service, and what will happen if they do go with your service. Does everything about your program and your member journey reflect you actually doing everything possible to solve the problem? Not just give them good workouts and a fun place to come and work out. That's definitely valuable, but that's not what gets people to really buy in and stick around. What gets people to buy in and stick around is that you're solving real problems for them that are important to them. Okay, all the other stuff is just fluff around the edges. And does your business match the problem that you're solving, right? So do your offerings, so your membership options and what they're called, your branding, your pricing, your processes, and the member journey. Does everything reflect it? Probably not, right? So we need to get clarity on who we are, what we're actually solving for people, what that deep why is for us, what that deep why is for them, so that we can really tap into the real things that are going to get you to execute the way that you need to, and to stand up for what you're doing and how you're doing it and why you charge what you charge and the processes and everything that you need to actually deliver for someone to get the result that they're after deep in their heart. Because if you can solve that problem, you become priceless. That's why some gyms who look like they're doing the same thing that you're doing are able to charge hundreds and hundreds of dollars more than you, whether it's just in their monthly fees or it's on their intro packages or their upsells and their programs. There's a huge range of what's out there. We got to stop looking at what the majority is doing and charging and compare ourselves to that. Remember, most people are doing it wrong. They have no idea what they're doing. They're struggling. They're just guessing. Everyone's just kind of copying each other. It's the blind leading the blind, and it just keeps compounding the problem, making it worse and worse and harder to sift through what is the actual solution, right? And part of that solution is you being crystal clear on all of those aspects and making sure that the business then reflects that, which leads me to the second piece, your strategy, right? Does the strategy that you have, that you are using to grow your business, reflect what you're doing, right? So have you set the goals that are important to you, that are going to allow you to continue to do this and continue to stay excited about this, because you can make a great living doing this, doing something that you love, and you're able to pay your coaches the way that you want to. We've got to figure out what all that looks like, and then we have to make a business strategy that's going to allow us or lay out the plan on how we're going to do that. And the strategy piece, I think a lot of people get lost in because they think it's going to be like a do this, then do that, and there is part of that. But what it really comes down to is reconfiguring what it is that you're selling and how you're delivering it, right? So first it's figure out what it is, and then it's make everything match it, right? So the strategy means we have to first revamp, whether it's sometimes it's everything, content, our marketing, advertising, sales, from our process to our offer to our the actual sales method to our onboarding to our prices and our options there and our policies and our member journey and every single thing. All of that has to be around what you learned when you clarified everything. And once you get everything into alignment, then it's okay now, based on my resources and where I personally am at, based on what my hours are and how many people I have to help me or not help me, and so on, financial resources and all that. I'm going to now lay out the order of operations on how I'm going to get to that end goal as efficiently as possible, right? There's going to be a certain order of rolling these things out in order to get the most return quickly. So that you can, obviously get over the hump, break through, and start hitting those really high value payoffs and milestones that are going to really give you that peace of mind, allow you to get to the next level. Like, for example, if you are just totally burning out on, you're coaching all the classes, you're totally in the thick of it, you need help. You need to hire that coach or those coaches that are going to help bring your class load down so that you can actually focus on more high value activities, because you're getting out of that day to day, and so that you can even break through. So you're going to have to probably double, triple, quadruple down for a few months and do all the, by changing your sales process and doing content every day and doing some, videos every week and doing all the activities that are going to allow you to break through and create that additional revenue, so that you can then afford to hire that person and bring them on correctly, pay them well, so that it'll give you that relief. We have to lay all those, so we have to set those dominoes up so that we can knock them down, which leads me to number 3, the execution piece. Right? And this is where I think the least amount is emphasis is put. I think people understand, I need to know that, I need to clarify how I stand out in my marketplace so that it makes, we're unique enough and all that. And I need to have a strategy. I need to know what to do, right? And get that roadmap in place. But the piece I find in our industry is just missing altogether is the actual execution. What are you doing every single day, every single week, every single month to make sure that it's happening? Are you visualizing your outcome every single morning, no matter what? Are you moving heaven and earth every single day to get the most important activities done before you train, before you go out for lunch with your buddy to bitch about how hard gym ownership is? Are you, are you getting your priorities straight, really? Are you executing and getting an A+ on your effort? If I were to sit there and watch you for an entire week, would I be able to say every single day, yep, you got up and you definitely hit it with every single thing that you had? Doesn't mean, remember, it's not about where you're at. It's about the effort you're willing to put into it to move forward, right? I mean, look at it this way, right? How many times have you had someone come into your gym, someone who's like, man, I've got to lose this weight, or I'm not going to get off this medication, or I'm going to get sick and die young and not be there for my kids. And they've got this big thing, and they're pouring their heart out to you, and you're like, yes, I can totally help you with that. Here's exactly how we're going to do it. And they show up for their first couple of weeks, and then what? Nothing. They start to wean off, they fall off, and then they're right back to where they were in many cases, right? Now we have the wins. We have some people who are, they're able to do what it takes. And that's really why we do what we do. But we've all seen that happen countless times, right? Where people come in and they give you this sob story as to, how important this is to them. And I'm willing to do anything, whatever you tell me to do. And they don't do shit. They're not actually willing to do the hard work over and over and over and over again to get the outcome. And if you are stuck and you're like, I've tried everything, I've tried content, I've tried, raising my prices, I've tried doing this and that, I am willing to bet it's this. I'm willing to bet you're actually not doing the things that are going to move you forward every single day. I'm not saying that you're not trying hard, but remember, you don't get a trophy for trying hard. You get a trophy for winning, for doing the thing that gets the result that you're after. So you may need to take a look at what you're doing every day, and instead of maybe, spending an hour or two watching Netflix at night, take that as your time to work on your shit. Because if you're choosing Netflix or going out or doing 2-hour workout sessions instead of creating content and getting back to your sales calls as quickly as possible every single day on dialing in your member journey and making sure everyone has the best experience every time, if you're choosing those things, then just know that you are choosing the outcome from that. And then you also have to be okay with what that means for you and your business, that you're probably going to keep working your ass off, staying super busy, but not really accomplishing much and not getting to your goal. Versus you saying, okay, I'll be honest with myself. I'm going to stop bullshitting myself. And instead, I'm now going to start really digging in deep on what I need to be doing every day. And I'm not going to stop thinking that I am different or better than anybody else, because here's the reality. You are your own limiting factors. There are too many success stories of people who were in harder situations than you with less resources who have overcome and won big. It is totally up to you. The reality is, guys, is that in business, we focus a lot on the tactics and the strategies and the surface level stuff, right? But when you really boil it down, your performance in your business is a direct reflection of where you're at with your own personal journey, right? Your own limiting beliefs, your own, limitations as far as skills and what you're doing, whether that's skills around time management or it's around selling or it's around content or even your product. Maybe your product is not good enough yet, right? But whatever those things are, those are all just reflections of where we need to work on ourselves. And in order for you to truly break through and get to the other side, which is you consistently growing and progressing and feeling like I finally feel like I got this figured out and I'm able to keep moving forward. There's always going to be new challenges. There's always going to be more to learn, right? But it's personal development that is going to allow us to really break through in most cases, right? And that comes back to your mindset and where you're really at between your ears and how that translates into what you do every day, right? We can always find reasons to be, I was too busy this week. I just, person after person kept interrupting me when I was trying to work on my stuff. Hang a sign on your door and lock it. End of story. Or if you can't work at your gym, go to the coffee shop across the street where nobody knows you, put on a hoodie, put your headphones on, and get to work. Quit making excuses. It is completely up to you. All of the information, all of the resources, programs, all this stuff, it's all out there ready for you to take advantage of if you're willing to sit and really do the hard work, right? And keep in mind too, just because you signed up for a program and went through it does not mean that you did the work. You have to be willing to actually do 100% of what is in whatever that program is, whether it's my program or it's someone else's program, or it's about learning how to do a handstand, or I don't care. You have to do the whole thing 100% to get the result. And a lot of the programs that people will do out there, it was okay, or it was only so-and-so. Oftentimes, there's these crazy success stories that come from them. The difference between those success stories and everybody else was the work ethic, how they tackled it, how they did it, how many times they did it, how many times they were willing to fail or it not be perfect until they got it right. So that's it for today. I hope that was helpful for some of you out there. I know I've been in your shoes before. I'm not sitting here talking to you guys from some pedestal. I have been through 100% of what I just talked about. This is a really challenging journey for myself too. It is a constant journey of evolution and learning and discovering more things about myself and how I can be better so that I can translate that into what I do and help myself achieve my goals for my business and my clients and for my family. And I hope that you are either already starting on this journey on your own and this maybe helps scoot you along and gives you some clarity, or if you've been feeling stuck, that maybe this breaks something loose for you. But if you have done that already yourself, and you have any experiences or things that you want to share that helped you break through, put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear it, and I'm sure anybody else watching this would love to hear it. We're all in this here together, guys. So that's it. I want to thank all of you guys for joining us here today. If you were on live, awesome, thank you. And if you weren't here on here live today, that's great. Still let us know in the comments, guys. Again, if you're interested in learning more about how we might be able to help you, schedule a discovery call and we will figure out exactly where you're at and what that path looks like for you and how we might be able to help you get there. What we do isn't for everybody, but it is for those who are passionate about their business. They want to build a business that stands the test of time, and they want to make a great living doing what they love. So if that sounds like you, let's get on a call and let's take it from there. For now, that's it for me. Have yourselves a great weekend, and we will see you guys again next week. Bye-bye.